New video has surfaced of the arrest of 16 Marines 4 months ago at Camp Pendleton for their alleged involvement in a human smuggling ring.
16 Camp Pendleton Marines have been arrested on human smuggling charges.
A dozen U.S. Marines are under arrest tonight on charges that include human smuggling.
Hey guys, Felipe here. Welcome to another video. Thank you for coming back and supporting. If you like the content, please go ahead, like, subscribe. Comment below. I want to hear your guys' experiences, especially in this topic that we're going to talk about today, or just like any comments that you guys have in general, because this topic that we're going to go over today, I was there firsthand. I wasn't there at the formation. However, my warehouse was right behind there when all this happened. In fact, I was one of those units that was supporting the border mission during that time in 2019. We were sending Marines down there 60 days at a time or so from our unit at 2-4, right? The video is going to talk about, we're going to talk about those 1-5 Marines, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines that were arrested, 16 of them, for taking money to smuggle illegal immigrants and drugs, right? And possibly some drugs. None of that I've seen confirmed, just the title that says that they also, drugs. Anyways, I was there firsthand, and I want to talk about how did we get here, right? How did we get to the position where we had 16 Marines get arrested, especially at a formation, which is kind of messed up. So for those of you watching, if you don't know, what happens is we do formations for several reasons: accountability, ceremonies, formations, for awards, any things like that. So 1st Battalion, 5th Marines, what they did is they had a formation saying like, hey, these Marines are going to get awarded. They're going to receive an award. And so they called them all up. Man, if I was one of those Marines, I would have, like, my ears would have been like ding, 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 because something's fucking happening. If all of them that were in that drug ring or in that smuggling ring were all lined up there, they're like, oh shit, did they freaking find us out? Like, that's probably how I would have been if I was in that position. I wouldn't have thought that we're going to get an award at that point. And so they get lined up, right? Their commanding officer, their sergeant major, they like call them all up. They line them all up. They're all at parade rest. And then Sergeant Major gives the NCIS, the 40 NCIS agents, the thumbs up to go ahead, come down, arrest all these Marines. And yeah, so what happened? How did we get to that position where they were at that formation? And by the way, at that formation where it all happened, my warehouse was right behind that. I was actually there at work when all this happened. And then we heard about it like later that day, and we're like, oh shit, like fucking Marines getting arrested. But so at 2-4, we also sent Marines down there. We sent, I don't recall, I think it was like 200 Marines or so that were in support of the border mission. It was like a company and a half or so that they sent down there. And I was a major part of that role, right? Because in supply and in S4, what we did, right, is we had to make sure that the Marines that were going down there had their M16s, their M4s, their M9 service pistols. They had all their ammunition. We had to make sure that they had all their gear, their SIF gear, their flak, their Kevlars, their mag pouches, their tourniquets, their pistol holder. Like, they had to have everything to go down there. Additionally, from that, we also booked their hotels, made sure that they received their per diem for being down there, because there's no like cafeteria. There wasn't any like base, chow hall or anything like that. So they were rated money for their hotel and for their meals. Additionally, we had to make sure that they had transportation. And this is where I think a lot of this came into play. We gave these Marines, and I'll break this down, we gave a lot of these Marines SUVs, Tahoes, Suburbans, 4x4 trucks, where you can fit a whole bunch of people. And a lot of these were blacked out, tinted windows, all that stuff. So we gave these Marines a lot of power, a lot of authority. Not a lot of people are going to question a freaking Marine in uniform, right? Like with a rifle, with a pistol on his freaking leg. Not a lot of people are going to do that. So we gave all these people all this power. And now we got to think about the people that we gave this power to, right? At the infantry battalion, and especially at these company level, right? Who are the ranks that make up the majority of the population, right? We're talking about a whole bunch of E1s to E4s, right? And not even a whole bunch of E4s, bunch of E1s to E3s, a couple E4s, a couple E5s, very few, like a couple of staff NCOs, a few lieutenants, one captain. That's all that went down there. We didn't send anything more than that, as far as the rank structure, right? And so the majority of these people are E1s to E3s, E4s, and E5s. Do you guys know how much these guys made in 2019? How much they were making a month? Well, I'm gonna break it down for you guys. All right. So if you don't know, in 2019, an E1 made 1680 a month, guys. 1680 a month. Break that down by 2 pay periods, the 1st and the 15th. This poor freaking E1 Marine was making $840 every 2 weeks. Then you still got to take away taxes and Social Security, Medicare, state, federal taxes, right? You got to take all that stuff. This guy was actually making like $1,300. He was making like $600 every 2 weeks. And E2 was making $1,884. So $200 more than the E1. Now, again, Social Security, state, federal tax, Medicare, TSP, if you're contributing to that thing, these guys aren't making a whole bunch of money. You're talking about like $20,000 a year. E3 is making $2,000 a month. E4 is making $2,300 a month. E5 $2,400 a month. So these guys are barely making like minimum wage. And then you got to think about it. They're out there working more than 8 hours. They're out there doing 12-hour shifts, whatever the case may be. When you do the actual like math of hours worked compared to their salary, man, these guys are making like $4 an hour. So these guys making $4 an hour are out there freaking grinding, patrolling, full gear, flat Kevlar, and then they get approached by some person and he's like, hey, oh, you guys are Marines, that's awesome, man, like that's cool, like do you guys want a drink? I'll bring you a Celsius or a Monster or something. And you're like, no, I'm okay. Well, hey, how about I give you $8,000 if you take these 3 people and you drop them off in LA? And you're like, what? You're like, yeah, 8 grand. Take these people down there or drop them off to this location. From that 7-Eleven to the other 7-Eleven. Just transport them. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah, no problem. Hey, guys, hop in my freaking SUV that fits 8 people, blacked out tints. You're a freaking Marine in full uniform, flat Kevlar. You're wearing your freaking, you have your rifle, you got your pistol on you, and it's 2 of you. You're like, hey, no harm, no foul. I don't even know they're legal immigrants. They're just people that needed a ride. So, we're Marines, we're serving our country. I'm doing what's best for my people or for, the people. I didn't know they were illegal immigrants. So I just dropped them off where they told me to. They said they're going to pay me 8 grand. Like that mean, I'm not saying these guys did the wrong thing, right? These Marines that are down there that took money to transport illegal immigrants that they may or may not have known, right? Like, it wasn't the right thing. Absolutely not the right thing, especially when they were down there knowing that they were supposed to be in support of the border mission, that they were supposed to be, preventing illegal immigration into the border. They're building the walls and all these things. So, yeah, is it messed up? Yeah, they fucked up. However, like it's not uncommon, right? Like, I mean, I think any reasonable person would be like, yeah, I didn't know they were illegal immigrants. I thought they were just Americans and they needed a ride. And hey, we're heroes here. We're American. We're freaking Marines. We're American. We're full flat Kevlar. I got a lot of pride in me. Yeah, I'll drop them off, hop in. And then they get paid 8 grand or $1,000, right? In the article, it shows that one of the Marines got paid $1,000, and one of the other Marines that had been arrested prior to all this going down was that he had done this already a few times. So that's what led to that full mass investigation. And these 2 Marines that were initially caught ratted everybody else out. Turns out they were all from 1-5. And I had a buddy there who was at 1-5. He was also one of their officers. And I'm curious to hear how all that went down at their unit. But yeah, you give all these people all this power, authority, vehicles, weapons, and somebody approaches them and tells them, hey, I'll give you a few grand or several grand to take these people over there. And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? Hop in. which something these guys may not have seen. They may not have been too crazy. Uh, excuse me. But yeah, as you guys know, like the Marines weren't the only ones tasked to go down there, and we also had like Army down there and all these other people. So I'm gonna jump into the article for you guys and kind of just break down like why I got into this video. I had seen a email come through from military.com showing that we just deployed a whole bunch of troops, another 1,600 troops to the border on January 27th. And I'm like, oh, who's down there? Like what units are down there? And so I'm looking at the article right now, and I'll have the link in there below. But we had 1,600 not Marines, soldiers from the Army, and then we had another 500 Marines go down there, aside from the already 2,500 Army Reserve Guard that were down there. So we have already over like 4,100 troops down there, and I tried to find like the Marine units that are down there, but I can't see. But I'm sure it's probably some unit in Pendleton again, or maybe some reserve unit. But let's break down this article real quick. All right, guys. So I got the article pulled up in front of me. So it says the Army just deployed primarily military police to enhance surveillance efforts and act as a deterrent to illegal crossings along the border with Mexico. Simultaneously, roughly 500 Marines specializing in engineering and repairing and reinforcing physical barriers along the border are down there to support all that. They joined 2,500 National Guard, Army Reserve units, troops that were already there. So I did actually find the Marine Corps units, and it looks like active duty Marine Corps units on the border mission are 1st Combat Engineer Battalion, 1st Marine Division. So they are actually pretty close to that place where they arrested those 15 Marines at the time. They are also in the 62 area. And it says a detachment from 7th Engineer Support Battalion, 1st Marine Logistics, Camp Pendleton, California. So yeah, I was right. 2 units from Camp Pendleton down there supporting repairing the border and rebuilding stuff. So pretty cool. And then let's jump into the article where it says the 16 Marines are arrested at Camp Pendleton in northern San Diego County as part of a human smuggling investigation. So yeah, the suspects face various charges ranging from human smuggling to drug crimes. The Marine Corps said the arrests were prompted by information obtained during a previous human smuggling investigation. All right, it says all of the accused came from the same battalion. Yeah, they're all from 1-5, and the first 2 arrests came earlier this month. Officials, this was all in 2019. 2 were allegedly caught in the act picking up 3 undocumented immigrants from Mexico. According to court documents, the 3 migrants told investigators they were paying $8,000 to be smuggled to Los Angeles or New Jersey. One of the Marines told the authorities he was expecting to make $1,000 for his role in the operations. One of the suspects says he had made a similar pickups previously, and that's why it prompted everybody else. And these guys, they told on everybody else, and yeah, so just crazy stuff. So it says inside the Corps there is concern that misconduct might even be more widespread. And you know what, we're right, and I'm curious to see if we may see some of that in the near future. Hopefully not. These guys are professionals, and hopefully they do the right thing. I think, in my opinion, those units should have a good rank structure as far as like the oversight, because you got to understand that a lot of these ranks, E1 to E3, they're all 18, 19-year-olds. I mean, the E1s, possibly some 17-year-olds, right? These guys are young kids, and they may not know like what's what, right? Like they probably don't even know how to do their taxes. Guys, I know Marines when I was at the infantry unit that they did not know how to do their own laundry. Grown ass men don't know how to do their own laundry. So like they, something like this is for us. It's common, right? We're like, oh, no shit. Of course that happened. Just Marines, right? Like that's the stigma anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys got some insight as to like how we ended up in that position. We gave all these guys all this ammunition, weapons, vehicles, all this power to have their own discretion, and they kind of goobered it up. But we also spent a lot of money on that whole border mission alone. So just crazy stuff, guys. So, hope you enjoyed the video. If you got any comments, please go ahead, throw it down there. If you were at the border, I'd like to hear what you guys actually did down there. We thought that these Marines were just down there playing fucking Xboxes in their hotel rooms. That's what we thought. I don't know. But yeah, please comment down below or share any of your guys' experience. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.